I mean, I love both, honestly. I just love it when I love games. Let's put it that way. But I know what you mean. You guy, tell me, where's the antenna? I have to... Oh, this one looks like it. Ah. Wait. Link established. 840. What does that do? What's it do? Oh, that's the green one. Okay. So we have a channel. Can I use it now? I like Anthem, but everyone hated it. I was so confused with Anthem. There we go. That it died. Engine failure. Okay, we can't use this one then. Let's try 216. Because it looked really good. I don't even know why it died. Why did everyone hate it?
Yeah? You put in a good word for me?
Oh, it's 49. Never mind. It's the other one then. Let's hope that there's a sample in there we can use. What am I doing? This one.
Transport active. Unspecified cargo.
What does that mean? Oh, he's incoming.
The Zeppelin's on its way. Better get ready.
Really? Okay, better get ready. For what? What's that noise?
That's definitely the
Oh!
Zeppelin.
It looks like an overlord from StarCraft. Alright. Ah!
Down, we're safe.
Oh, it's really disconcerting popping in and out of existence like
Yeah,
that.
I can think that.
Where
yeah.
are we now?
Delta. At least that's what you said before the crash.
Oh, right. Of course. Is this a Zeppelin?
Appropriately named. You think you can get us to Theta?
It's a cargo transport. They use them for moving materials between the sites, anything that's too big for the shuttles. I'm sure it can carry us. Why won't it work? Come on. Oh, the tool chip is bust.
Of course.
Isn't that part of the Omni tool?
Look who's been paying attention.
I had to deal with that back at Upsilon.
Then you know how it works. We need to get a new tool chip and switch it.
Care to point me in the direction of the closest tool chip storage?
I think it would be easier to just take one from a robot.
What? Just knock a robot over the head and steal their chips?
The toolbox over there says it has a stun baton. You could use that.
Come on. I don't want to hurt anyone. Isn't this a bit much?
It's just a robot, Simon.
We're just robots. Sort of. I'll get us a chip.
Yeah, good point though. We have a gun!
Choice.
Because it was bare bones and BioWare were too slow at sorting out problems and it was an always online game. Oh, I see, okay. But now nobody cares about that. Oh, we can't even shoot him. No, that's kind of the other guy, which just doesn't do anything. After I was saying the other day about another StarCraft game, I found out they are doing a StarCraft shooter, not. Yeah, I saw that announcement as well. So basically it's just gonna make another Overwatch in StarCraft or another Arc Raiders with StarCraft. And it's probably gonna suck, to be honest. Hey, buddy.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, mate. I should throw it away, man. Maybe you can use that.
I hope this works.
So we just kill the guy. I mean, this has been sort of the theme throughout the entire playthrough so far. That we have to kill other robots for us to survive. I wonder if this is some meaning. Specifically about survival. Like, if everyone is out for their own survival, then the whole world is a shit show, which is pretty much what it is these days, if you think about it, right? Everyone is just basically scraping by most of the times. That's why they're also... It's actually a good point, if you think about it. Most people have to live from paycheck to paycheck, just barely make ends meet to survive, right? So obviously they can't give to other people. Because I always believe, truly, that if people had it easier in their life, they would actually more openly and readily give to other people. It's the whole idea of you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? So you gotta fill your own life up first, and then you can give to other people. The sad part is that that society is set up in such a way that most people just cannot fill up their cup ever, so they also can never give to other people. This sort of creates this environment of consistent survival. Basically consistently in survival mode, and this is why everyone just cares about themselves. At least that's my theory. And yeah, I don't have any hopes for that StarCraft shooter at all. For the simple reason that I just simply don't believe Blizzard is even capable of doing that these days, because all the talent they had, especially for StarCraft, left already. So it's just gonna suck.
Thanks, Simon.
Sadly.
Don't be mad, okay?
Because I really love StarCraft,
really
the IP.
needed that chip. We'd be stuck here.
Could you do it? Kill a robot like that?
I get attached to them too. I'm not a monster. But in this case, it had to be done.
He was talking. I mean, he was delusional, but he seemed sincere. Present.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's fine.
Was he really that different from us? It's just beginning to sink in. I mean, really sink in. I'm a robot.
Didn't we cover this already?
Guess I've known ever since I woke up at Upsilon. I just keep suppressing it. Like my brain doesn't want me to think about it. It's really getting hard not to think about it.
Yeah. Could you maybe hit that switch over there so we could get moving?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's basically also, you could say the same about the theory of us living in a simulation, right? And the real world doesn't exist as it is, it's just a simulation. That's a theory that exists. And I assume when you wait, like if you realize that you are, to an extent, living in that, what do you do then? Like him, right? He knows that he's basically just a brain scan consciousness kind of thing that is now existing in this robot. And his true self probably died, what's it, like 100 years ago almost? In this chair. I mean, it did that chair, I guess, probably months later. But it's also interesting the part where he said, could you kill a robot? It's the same question that people always ask with animals, right? Vegetarians and all that. Can you kill an animal just like that? Well, if it means your survival like it did in the past, you sort of forget about it, right? And you just don't see them as animals anymore to an extent. Because a friend of mine, for example, right, they have their own farm at home, and so he also kills the chickens himself, right, when they eat them. So he takes not the axe, what's it called? The smaller thingy, I forgot the name. And he cuts off their head. And the funny thing is, for a few seconds, the body still keeps moving until it realizes that the head is off, right? It's kind of creepy, but that's just what it is. But he said he doesn't see them as animals anymore. He sees them as useful cattle, so to speak, right? Livestock, right? And so you sort of have to set this up in your mind like this. And the same is probably true here with these robots. We had to kill him, otherwise we couldn't survive. Now, is our life more worth than the robot's life? We seem to be at least somewhat conscious of what we're doing. The robot didn't. He was just floating around in circles there and talking weirdly. You could say that's probably something that warrants it more if your consciousness is higher. But it could also be seen as elitist. It's a tough discussion to have, for sure. Whose life is more worth. So I always decided, for me, that I don't have to make that choice at all. It's usually just given by life or the Force, if you'll be with Star Wars, or the universe, whatever. And this brings me to your question. You always wonder what our purpose is. We live and then die. Our purpose is to have this very experience you are having in life. Right, I said this in another game playthrough, I don't know which one it was. We already have established this, and many have reported this from the afterlife, so to speak, that you choose what happens to you in this life. Right? For example, in my case, that I would end up being cheated on. It's not like every single detail in your daily basis is predetermined. Not like this. It's just some big decisions or some big happenings, good or bad, in your life are chosen by your soul before you incarnate, and you still have free will. If you make the right choices towards that, then you will have those experiences, right? And the purpose is to have those experiences. So the idea is, especially from all the Dolores Cannon books I studied for like 10 years, where she got in contact with the higher beings, is that our soul is a spark that diverted from God at some point, right? Or the source, they call it. It's a divine spark. It has unlimited power, and it's eternal. It doesn't die. And it chooses to incarnate and have these experiences. And then at some point with all these experiences come back to God and basically bring it all together again. Like a circle jerk, if you want, right? So, and this helped me a lot also because people say, hey, you have to make your life worth something, right? And then like, okay, but I'm not the guy that goes out on protests or has some sort of huge altruistic goal in his life. I'm just not that guy. But this helped me to realize that just by doing what I'm doing and having the experiences that I have, I will already have done enough. Because that's why I'm here. That's what my soul chose to do in this life. For whatever reason, I don't know. But that's just what it is. And this also aligns, by the way, a lot with the Bible. It's just people... The problem with Christianity is that people take the Bible and Jesus' word way too literal. For example, the simplest example is hell, right? Jesus never said that there is a hell where you come in and you burn forever in your afterlife. What he meant was if you do bad things, then your life will become hell. And that's absolutely true. If you indulge in all the cardinal sins, for example, and all the bad things you do, you can do, then your life will be shit. That is the hell you created. Absolutely. And only through forgiveness and doing good things you will actually enjoy your life. Because your conscience knows very well that this is good what you're doing. Every choice leads down different paths, so we could have different lives, obviously. Absolutely, yeah. Well, of course. Now, there's multiple versions of this mentioned in the books. First of all, it's said that you and me both, we probably lived through hundreds of lifetimes on this planet. You're basically being reincarnated every time to have different experiences. It's also what people mean, or what they mean when they talk about karma, right? When you do bad things, and you have to repay your karma. This usually happens, not necessarily happens this life, it might just happen the next one. Like if, for example, you cheated on someone, or killed someone, or tortured someone, I don't even know, then you will have to repay that. Not in the same way, but in a different way, probably. Not in some sort of cosmic scoreboard, but more in the sense that you probably choose a life that is tough to deal with as a compensation for that. And the other idea is mentioned there that... By the way, all I'm saying, you have to choose for yourself if you believe in or not. Anyone watching, right? Don't just really believe what I'm saying. It's just all the books that I've read and what I believe. Make it your own mind, right? I always want people to critically think about everything they hear. But what they're saying is that there's basically, every time you make a choice like a crossroads in your life, and you make a big choice, not like what do you eat today, but like a big choice. Then you basically create another dimension where you do one choice and the other one keeps existing as it was in another dimension. I found this to be very interesting. I could totally see this being logical or be happening. And then your soul basically can keep living both. And people also say that sometimes when you have a dream about something you did or you went a different path, that this is basically just you being in the other dimension with your soul, experiencing that while you dream. I found this to be very interesting. It also makes a lot of sense to me. Anyway. Do it. Do I have to hit the button? I do. Alright.
Thanks.
But this is also why you can't upload your consciousness, because your consciousness exists outside of Earth with your soul, and it's just remote controlling this flesh vehicle. So it can't be copied or anything, because it's eternal. But I like the idea, sort of, to play with it. Like in this game. I highly recommend reading Between Death and Life by Dolores Cannon. Link is in the YouTube description below, I think. No affiliation or anything, just an Amazon link. Amazing book. It changed my perspective a lot. People say you're crazy when you talk about anything outside their comprehension. Absolutely, and the reason is also very easily explained, because your brain has a survival mechanism, right? And energy saving mechanism.
You're really good back there, Simon. We got a slight delta detour.
And if you have to basically question your entire existence,
just outside Theta.
you believed so far, that is way too much energy for your brain to work with, so it just denies it.
That's a long way. We don't have to worry though, because
and I've been there.
The Ark could have been in the Mariana Trench. It'll hold for anything.
That's great.
And then
that's
we can
great.
Start listening to other people when they talk, because that's how conversations work.
What? Sorry. I just can't stop thinking about what we've become. It's clear that we're no longer human. But then how can I feel like Simon? How can I feel like anything at all? I mean, technically, I don't have any ears, no mouth. Christ, that's a weird thing to think about. I mean, I'm making sounds. I'm still saying things.
You sure are. Okay. Your new body most likely has senses similar to those you had as a human. And your mind, only knowing one way to perceive the world, superimposes that skill set on top of your new features.
So my mind is covering it up, pretending nothing's different.
Well, that's what you do right now.
If you didn't, you'd probably be incapable of interacting with the world at all. And the stress would either kill you or make you go insane.
So I've found a good balance between awareness and ignorance. Does that mean I shouldn't think about this stuff, or are my thoughts actually making me cope? Could I tip the balance by suddenly gaining some insight and go insane?
I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, we have real things to deal with. Saving mankind, remember? Speaking of which...
They were not exactly saving them, though, are we?
I'll eject the Omni tool. As always, don't forget to take me with you.
Kath, before you go, the artificial intelligence you mentioned in the escape vessel?
Uh-huh, yeah, the Warden unit, the WOW.
Is it the WOW's fault that we're like this? I mean, it seems like something an unreliable AI would do.
I suppose it set the ball in motion, but it's not directed with purpose. It's really complicated to explain how machines think, Simon. Concentrate on getting inside Theta, okay?
What? No, tell me.
See you soon.
Well, first of all, if you think about it, what she said there, right, that your brain just superimposes the reality on your... If you think about it in your life right now, your brain sits in this dark skull, right? And we only perceive the world through electrical signals our senses give to the brain. And it only creates that by knowing that this is what it looks like. What if reality looks nothing like that? The brain doesn't know. It sits in this dark thingy and it's just interpreting signals. What if it's interpreting them all wrongly? So everything you see, everything you do is just electrical signals. Much like in the Matrix, right? You basically have this sort of green code floating around everywhere, and your brain just thinks that is what it's supposed to look like. But maybe it isn't. I like what you said about allowing yourself to stop your mind from protecting you, like trusting someone. It's so true. Absolutely. Yeah, it's it's partly the mind. You're correct. It's partly the mind, but it's mostly, I think, your nervous system that is just being programmed to protect you through bad things that happen to you. And it's so difficult to turn this protection off, but it's also so necessary. Basically, turning it off is just telling it, okay, this is actually safe. I know we had a bad experience in the past, right? But you can trust this. And as I said, you might be fucked over again. At some point, it could happen. Totally. And then your nervous system's going to be like, see, I told you. Should have listened to me. But basically, if you do this and you listen to your nervous system the entire time, then you're constantly living in fear. Which means you never actually experience the world as it is. Because you're afraid of seeing what it can be. I truly think fear is the biggest thing that stops people from actually perceiving the world as it is. And enjoying the life they have as it is. They are afraid to take risks, to do things they want to do, because they are afraid of, either it might rock the boat in their relationship, and I'm definitely guilty of that. Because trust me, I've done this in the 12 years of my marriage. I was like, okay, no point in talking about this, even though it pisses me off, because I know how she thinks about it, and it's just gonna be more stress. You just leave it be. But to be honest, you're just making this rationalization in your mind that this would just be not worth the fight. But in reality, you're just doing it out of fear. Out of fear of leaving your comfort zone and actually getting what you want. Happened to me multiple times, but as soon as I started being myself, it was much better. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we've all been there. So good on you, man, for doing this. Very good. Lividonia, welcome back. How are you doing? And thank you, by the way. Yeah, that's the key thing. And you know what I truly believe? I think most people, probably me included, I'm not excluding myself from this, I think most people don't even know who they truly are. I believe. Because you grow up in an environment that is shaping you, right? People are shaped by where they grow up, not exactly who they are. To an extent, of course, your character plays a role. Because, little children already have a personality, you can tell. Like my son, at 2 years, was completely different than his cousin. My son is very reserved and needs to check things out first before he does anything. And his cousin is like head first into anything. He just jumps down the slide head first and he doesn't even care. Completely different personality at 2 years old, right? So his environment didn't shape him. It's just his personality. But then as you grow up, your personality sort of goes into the background a little bit, and the environment that tells you who you should be or shouldn't be, which is also heavily influenced by the parents, which is why I'm so self-conscious about how I raise my son. But this basically shapes you to who you become in your later parts in life, right? Or like in your 20s, let's say that. Because you learn that maybe your personality doesn't really work the way it should in this scenario. For example, let's say you are this very extroverted, outgoing little child, but let's say your parents are very strict. Then they suppress your true self, right? So it can't come forth because you've basically been told that if you are your true self that is outgoing and extroverted, that's actually bad because that probably gets your ass whooped. Or you get your toys taken away, whatever it is. So you get this feedback loop that this is bad if you are yourself. 10 years ago, I wouldn't even be chatting in here. Same, man. 10 years ago, I was a complete atheist. Complete atheist. I laughed at anyone who talked about any of these topics. I was like, come on. You can see reality as it is. What are you talking about? So this is also why I don't like to say that this is my steadfast belief now. It could change at any moment. It could change tomorrow completely. That's just what I believe today. Skipping this as I have not played this and it's on my list to play. Doing good. Yeah, that's amazing. You should definitely play this game if you're still here. Very, very great game. Definitely play it. So yeah, this is again either things that happen to you or the environment that shapes you. For example, also in my case, right? My ex-wife always, she didn't ridicule me, but she did this also, but she didn't really think that grown men should play video games, right? The old trope, right? Red flag for me, but you know how it is. And so throughout our entire marriage, I sort of adopted this belief that I'm now old, like older, with wife, house, children, right? The classic white picket fence thingy. And now I should stop playing games because it's just something young guys do, right? And so I actually adopted this belief myself, right? So the environment shaped me. But now that I'm getting divorced again and I'm out of it and I'm my own man again, I'm my true self, I really notice after these 12 years now, the last months, I really notice on a daily basis how I am becoming more my true self, who I was before all that. So I just let this all go because I thought I had to, but it was a wrong belief. I just had the wrong person in my life. That's pretty much it. So don't ever let the world tell you who you are, okay? That is a key thing you have to realize. The world does not know who you are, only you do, okay? And who you are is very simple. You are the person, how do I phrase this? The things you are afraid to say, that is exactly who you are. Alright? When you are out with friends and you hold back because you don't want to steal shit, or you think it's just gonna piss people off, or you know it's not the current exact thing to say right now, whatever it is, that is exactly who you are. That's the person. You keep hidden behind fear. And this is why I say that fear is such a powerful emotion in our current society, because nobody is truly himself these days. Because they're all afraid of what people think of them. All the time. Everyone is so afraid what everyone else thinks of them. The Joneses next door or on social media, whatever. By the way, why is the camera going dark and bright all the time? Is it because of the thing? It's a bullshit. Anyway. Yeah, everyone does this, keeping up with the Joneses, right? Or on social media, and if you don't get enough likes, then you think less of yourself. And I've been guilty of this, absolutely. But I figured out this is all just driven by fear. Being afraid of being your true self because the world might ridicule you for it. But it's such a painful way to live life, isn't it? If you never truly are yourself. And sometimes, I still sometimes do, right? For example, right, I'm very in favor of Trump and what he's doing, and I wish here over in Germany it would work in a similar fashion. But I'm also very much aware that I can't talk openly about this everywhere. Because there's a difference between intentionally pissing people off with your beliefs, or knowing that it just isn't the right moment and it's not going to help you, it's just going to piss you off, so you preserve your energy and just let them be. Stepping on eggshells is very depressing. You tell me. I've been doing this for 10 years in my relationship, man. You tell me. That's also why I have so much more energy right now than I had in that marriage. So much more. It's crazy actually to me sometimes. How much more positive and how much more energetic I am now. And this is because I don't have to worry about who I am. I just am myself as I am, and that's fine. I don't care what anyone thinks of it. So if you are watching this right now, at whatever time, and you are in a relationship and you have to step on eggshells, otherwise it's just going to be shit, let me tell you, you have to get out of it. It's not good for you, man. It's not good. Man or woman alike, for that matter. But my audience is mostly male, so it's not good at all. The only thing that makes life worth living is if you are true to your beliefs and put them out there. You don't have to like rub it in people's face, like if they didn't ask for it. Like I don't go around telling people, hey, I love Trump. It doesn't do anything. But if there is a discussion and people ask me, then I say it as it is. I say it how I see it. And I, for example, still think Trump should go harder on his issues in his own country. I think he's not doing enough, in my eyes. He should be way harder on that. And I wish we had this over here in Germany as well. And I wish we would abolish the EU entirely. Because it's just ruining Europe entirely. But I know I can't talk about these things with some people, and that's fine. Like, for example, I have a friend who thinks differently about that. And sometimes I go out for dinner with him. And we just don't even cover politics. We just talk about games and women and whatnot. And that's fine. Like, I don't have to talk about politics or the world with everyone, right? Both has gone too soft. Absolutely. Absolutely. Strong will win in the end. They always do. And I think the reason for that is... Oh, multiple reasons. First of all, that they are strong, so they can actually... It's the same thing I thought, for example, about Expedition 33, right? The endings. There's a huge discussion about, like, it's still going on, about which one is the correct ending. And I clearly say that Verso's ending is the correct ending. The only correct ending. Because what it does is, Verso's ending, these endings are basically a metaphor, right? With Verso, you are facing the pain, you accept life as it is, and you work for your grief and let it go and keep moving on with life and reality as it is. Mel's ending is trying to bend reality so much, through the canvas for example, that you don't have to deal with reality and can just cope with it in the canvas and living in this fake world. Even though she will die anyway, right? And everyone in the canvas will die, and her mother will die, etc. And Verso is dead anyway. So this is just, I compare this sort of as, right now anyway, in the current climate, Verso's ending is like Republicans, and Mel's ending is Democrats. Because that's exactly how it is right now. The Republicans are facing reality as it is, that things are not working as they are and they have to be changed. And Democrats live in this dream world that if they just have this toxic positivity and just think that everything is alright, then things will just be alright. But they won't. That's not how it works. You have to face... You have to make the bad decisions. As he said, life forces cruel choices. I loved Renoir so much, man. Such a great masculine character. Amazing. And this is exactly what is true in real life as well. And so, the strong are always on the side of nature. And this is why they will always win. Because nature forces you to be strong. It does this through giving you shit in your life, for example, and you have to overcome it. It's for example, right, when they have these trees in these, like, center park or whatever it's called, right? In these indoor parks. They put up trees, or like they planted trees, but they kept falling over and didn't know why. And the reason is, if the trees don't grow up with the constant winds trying to push them over, they will not be strong enough to hold their crown. I was like, that is such a great metaphor for what nature is. When you grow up, you have to be tested and you have to be made strong, otherwise you will fold immediately when you actually have some pressure or some burden to carry when you're older. Nature is giving us the best metaphors there are, man. It's amazing. You have to face the darkness. You have to face the adversity. This is also why I think for any man, the gym is so important. Because the iron does not lie. It doesn't care what you feel like that day. It doesn't care what politics is doing. It doesn't care if you are ill. It doesn't care if you ate something bad earlier. It is always the same. And it will test you always the same. And I love this so much. It's a great mindset thing, really, to hit the gym. Or to do any sort of, like, strength sports or whatever it is. It's a very important lesson in mindset, in my eyes. People's idea of being strong have become warped. Absolutely. I've been seeing people say it's Mel's choice, so they do not care about people. They love making bad choices. It's Mel's choice. Yeah, sure, but it doesn't change reality, right? Like, I discuss this a lot also with people in YouTube comments. And they usually call you, like, you're a genocidal person because you kill everyone on the canvas. And I'm like, it doesn't matter, they're gonna die anyway. You guys don't understand. And then the funniest thing was that one guy, he was the best one. I actually thought this was so stupid, it was almost funny. He said, yeah, sure, but they're gonna live for like 20, 30 more years. And maybe Gustave, because he's so great with his technology and whatnot, he will figure out a way for Mael to survive. And I'm like, you're telling me that the guy in the canvas that isn't real world will somehow figure out a way that the people outside in the real world will keep surviving? What are you talking about, buddy? This is complete bullshit. How is that supposed to work? He has no connections to the real world. Why? That makes no sense. But they live in this delusion that if they just believe strongly enough that the real world isn't what it is, then everything will be fine. They just try to deny reality as much as possible, and that just blows my mind. It's because they are afraid to actually facing the dark side of reality, because they live in this goody two-shoes reality, and that is because their parents never sent them through actual adversity. That is the exact reason. This is why they are like the trees growing up in these domes, like in a bubble wrap, and then they fold immediately when they have to deal with some actual shit in life. They're all losers. That's what they are. Gustave became a bitch as he was so naive to believing it was going to be easy. Yeah, Gustave was very weak the entire time. People loved him a lot, and yeah, of course it was very emotional when he died, sure. And he was kind of funny. But he was a weak loser, to be honest. Like the first adversity he met, right, when he was on the thing, and so all the other ones that the first idea he had was suicide. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. What is this? What is this, man? If this is your first reaction to adversity, that clearly tells me you never had to live through anything bad in your life. Now, of course, it was horrible that he saw all these other expeditioners being piled up dead on that thingy, but still. Still. That's what so many people are like now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is because they are raised... I saw this earlier from Tony Robbins. Because there was a woman... Basic classic thing, like married for a bunch of years, and she was basically using sex as a power tool. And so they were there because the marriage just didn't work out properly. And then Tony Robbins pretty quickly figured out, so let me guess, your dad always treated you like a little princess, didn't he? You were his princess, you couldn't do anything wrong ever, and all that. And she said, yes, absolutely. And I loved him so much and adored him and etc. blah blah. I'm like, yeah, it's great, fine. But the problem is also, you didn't have to take care of his needs, right? Your father's needs, for that matter. Whatever you did was fine and well, and you didn't have to care about him. So this was your understanding of masculinity. That you can't do anything to make him feel better because he's already perfect. And now you are living with an actual man as your husband, not your father. But he has needs. Other people do have needs. Your children, your husband. And you sometimes need to give them these needs. Otherwise, they will just go away. They will just walk away. Or be unhappy, like in this case. Right? And so she was completely dumbfounded by that. I found this very interesting because she just never thought about this. Because, and I think this is actually a big problem, that fathers these days, they raise, especially their daughters, like little princesses. They can never do anything wrong, right? They never put into adversity, never have to do anything, they never scolded. And because they're just a little girl, they don't know better, etc. And this is so bad for these girls later in life. Because they will absolutely ruin every relationship they ever have. It's crazy. So this is just the female side. Boys are the same, right? They never have to actually go through shit. And as soon as they hurt themselves or something, immediately their parents are coming. Oh my god, what's going on? When my son, he has fallen over a lot, of course, like a little boy. He's 5 now, he's doing some shit. And like when it was really bad, of course, I hugged him. But when it was just a little scratch or something, then just asked him. I remember this last time, I was like, does it hurt? Yeah. I'm like, does it hurt a lot? No, a little bit. I'm like, all right, let's get up and move on. It goes away. I told him. sometimes in life there will be pain, and you will have to get over it. That's why we fall, so we can try again. Yeah, wasn't that in Batman? I think. Was it Batman? But yeah, basically I also told this to him already. It's like, you only have to get up one more time, then you fall down. Then you have succeeded in life. It's actually the solution to it. Life will push you over many times. You will have to get up one more time, then it pushes you over. Just one. That's it. And so I noticed then, I've been doing this for years now to him, right? And last time he fell over because he was running too fast on, like, it was on the winter. And he scratched his hands a little bit, just a slight bit, right? And then I went to him and said, what happened? Is everything alright? And he says, no, it's fine. And he just walked away. I was like, great. Awesome. Now he's stronger. He just got up on himself. He didn't even talk about it. He didn't even think about it. He just proceeded. And not in the sense of that he is suppressing his emotions. I asked him, is it fine? You can tell me, right? He says, no, it's fine. It's just, it hurts a little, but it's okay. I was so proud of him, man. I was so proud. Like, because this is what you need to battle life. Because a lot of this will be happening. And he's gonna have it tough anyway because his parents are divorced, right? I didn't want it, but that's what it is. So you have to deal with that. But we have so many children these days that are like sugar-coated with everything. They can't do anything wrong. And like, nah. And this is what I said so many times. It's basically the same with the story from that lady, right? If you do not discipline your children, they will grow up around humans that don't like them. Around adults, I mean. Because you don't like spoiled brats. They are very annoying, but it's not the child's fault, it's the parents' fault. And so you have this, like this little girl here in this story that grew up and wasn't disciplined. And now she is around, as an adult herself, she's around adults that don't like her. And I thought, like, this is so bad for that person. Like, I'm actually very sad for this married woman there that was treated like a princess from her father the entire life. Because that ruined every relationship she ever had. Now she might realize what's going on, but working through this is going to be tough. And this is also why I see so many women that sleep with like 50 men and then want to settle down with a great man to marriage, and then they wonder why these guys don't want to marry them. Because they've basically been told from the very first days that they can't do anything wrong. But that's just not the truth. If everyone was doing that, the next gen will be amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Trust me, the worst thing for me as a parent is when I'm at the playground and I see other parents. I get so triggered. I get so triggered. Like, they do, not only do they nothing, then when they do something, it's the wrong thing. For example, I watch my son when he plays with other children. So I know who's actually at fault when shit happens, right? Because there will be shit happen. And the other parents are just staring in their phone, right? And don't even know what their child is doing. I'm like, no, I want to see what's happening. I want to see how he interacts with the other children, how they interact with him. Because I don't trust other children anymore because of their parents. And then when shit is going down, I can intervene and say who actually was at fault. And I had some issues with other parents because of that. And I wanted to tell them that they just should raise their children properly, but it's a pointless discussion, so I just moved on. But you really have to do this these days, man. It's just this no-hands parenting is the worst thing. You don't even need to be physical, right? I never hit my son. Never. If he doesn't behave, then I just take away his toys for today. Or we don't play a PlayStation. It's very simple. You don't have to be crazy about it. It's so simple, honestly. And then he knows. I'm guilty of that when I was younger, but as my daughter got older, I taught her to stand up for herself. Yeah, see, the key thing is, we all make mistakes. I'm not saying that I'm the perfect father by any means, right? I'm not saying that at all. It's just what I have observed about myself and other people, and what I've learned over the years. I definitely also made mistakes in the beginning with him, 100%. And this is another thing, right? People are also afraid of having children because they think they will do it wrongly. You will learn along the way, man. Nobody was born a perfect parent. We all have our shit to deal with. The best thing you can actually do for your for your children is to work through your own trauma so you don't give it down to the next generation. Don't take any offense, we all learn. Good. Yeah. And I think you probably agree with me that I have never grown as much as a person myself ever since I had children myself. Children really make you grow as a person on many levels. You learn so much about yourself. How you deal with your anger, for example. How you deal under stress, constant stress from the children, for example. And finances, dealing with other people, with your wife, etc. So many things I learned about myself. It's crazy. But I still don't urge anyone to have kids. They have to know for themselves. Because I don't really want to have people that just have children because they should have. I think that's wrong. You really need to want it. But I try to take the fear away from them because it's not actually that, I want to say difficult. It can be difficult, but it's not that big a deal, I think. I was constantly praised for my patience with my girl, and she was told when she was wrong. Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, patience is another big thing I learned. Yeah, this is another big thing you learn with children. Because you have to. You have no other choice. Yeah, that's also the key thing, that you did well there already, see? We have to tell the children when they're doing things wrong. It's very important for them. Otherwise their lives will be a lot worse later. A lot worse.
Strasky, wake up Dr. Masters. We're bringing in anchors.
What's wrong?
What can I say? He's had a rough day.
Isn't he dead?
Christ. He's all butchered by structure shrapnel.
I see.
Cloud surgeon a number on him.
Brandon, flip the panic switch on the suit. I don't want to burn through the oxygen.
You're kidding, right? He's fucking hanging on by a thread. We need to move him.
Strasky, get the infirmary ready. We need to move fast.
Wait, where are Kumarabi and the others?
This is all we got. I guess it's still at Delta.
Yeah, I can't do this on my own. Grab the other side.
Strask, ready or not, we're coming in.
All right, see you soon.
How is he still alive, though? It's kind of weird. It's like, okay, the WoW somehow, like the WoW is this station thingy, right? And it somehow decided to kill that guy for the reason. She made me grow faster than any other time, and I became better for it. Absolutely, children make you a better person. On so many levels. As I said, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I feel like actually the younger generation is already learning this. And they are treating their children and life in general very differently than like us millennials and who came after us. Gen X? Is it Gen X or Gen Z? I don't even know. Eternity among the stars. Oh, this is a grave? Oh, it is, huh? Huh.
This thing on? Can everyone hear me?
Go ahead, Strom.
Listen up, all members of staff.
Staff.
The project has caused a lot of arguments the last few months. I'm not going to pretend I understand what the hell Sarang talked about and how his continuity suddenly made sense to kill yourself. For the fucking love of God, or whatever you think is important, don't kill yourself. This place is miserable enough. Don't force your friends to clean up your blood.
Well, that's the wrong
Rest
way
in
to
peace.
put it, but...
Quality. Good?
Beautiful, sir.
Beautiful.
Show's over. Get back to work.
So basically he put, this doesn't help. When someone wants to kill themselves, you don't tell them, give the burden on them that when they do this, that they then, the other ones have to pick up their blood. That just makes them feel even worse. You should tell them that their life is precious and has worth and meaning. And you have a purpose to fulfill, as we talked about earlier. Even if it's just
Thank you, Catherine.
the pain you're going through.
Wait. Am I already here?
Oh, another robot. That is somehow alive-ish.
Hello?
Who is that? Mark?
Who's Mark?
No. We haven't met before.
Is this Park?
I think we're safe.
Oh, I was so worried something had gone wrong.
What's your name?
Robin Bass, Theta Field Service Technician.
Nice to meet you, Robin. How did you get here?
I got scanned, like the others. And then I killed myself.
Oh.
At least I think so. I can't remember that part.
How does that work? Did dying get you into the Ark?
Wow, you're definitely not from Theta. Let me guess, Omicron? Wasn't sure Catherine would be able to scan you guys. You're lucky. There was a lot of talk about this at Theta. The idea is, when you're activated in the Ark, there's basically two of you, right? One human,
Yes.
one living scan in the Ark.
Yes.
You don't want your copy to survive you. You yourself want to survive on the Ark. If the human you dies before the scan is initiated, or closely after, you yourself would live on in the Ark. Amazing, right?
Well, that's not quite correct, is it? Because she said
I don't understand.
you don't want your true self to die before you are uploaded. You don't want your copy to surpass you, but that's the only way to do it, right? That's why I do the copy.
Is this what it's supposed to look like?
Thanks for the follow, please, Goff. Isn't that the only way to do it? Because, like,
I expected something different.
if you die, your copy will live on, but it's not you, right? It's not the actual you, it's a different you. But not the one you are right now. Howdy. Friend.
Where is everyone?
How's it going?
I'm not the only one who got scanned.
So I would say that it's not entirely correct, is it? I think. Because as soon as you scan,
Mark.
you have two yous, basically. And what is
Did
it?
Catherine put you up to this? Killing yourself?
Catherine Chun? No. I don't think you understand. She just did scans and put them into the Ark. I hope I get to meet her soon so I can apologize. She always got into trouble with Strohmeyer when someone killed themselves.
I think she's okay with it.
Where is everyone? I thought there would be like 40 or 50 people here.
I don't know. I'll let you know if I see anyone.
But she isn't on the Ark, is she? She's in that robot. That's why she's alone. Stuck here, basically.
Robin, I'm not sure how to say this.
What?
This is
Yeah?
pretty amazing, right?
Come on.
I mean, the Ark.
Don't chicken out.
It's great. Catherine and the guys have really pulled through. They saved us all.
See you later.
Will do.
I'll be going now.
Let me know if you find anyone else.
Oh, I can pull the plug.
It's different, though.
So she thinks she's in the Ark, but we know that she isn't because she's basically...
Maybe this is paradise.
Maybe this is paradise. She has been existing down here for almost 100 years at this point, right? And I say existing, not living.
I'm just not prepared.
She thinks this is what the Ark is like, but it's just not. So wouldn't it be better to kill her?
Maybe it's something I'll get better at.
Because this is not a life worth living. But then again, if her scan didn't make it into the Ark, then she will be gone forever.
I can't tell if this is it.
Maybe that is what life has to offer. I mean, it could happen at any moment, right? When the power turns off, then she's gone anyway.
Huh?
I feel like I'd rather kill her, to be honest. Because I would want the same, right? When I have like a huge accident or whatnot and sit in or like lie in the hospital on like tubes and just merely exist in a coma or whatnot, I would want people to pull the plugs. Because that's not really a life worth living. What do you think she's gonna be gone forever if a copy comes to the Ark? Well, we don't know if it did, right? And we can't do it. That's what I think, anyway.
What?
Like, she's not in the Ark, she's in this robot. Right? And this, whatever this is. I mean, her copy could still be in the Ark, but then this existence is also useless.
Huh.
You good?
I think so. I feel fine.
Do you? Well, now I can't talk to her anymore. Well, that sucks. Okay, I guess. Copy is not continuity of experience, Immo. It's branch off of experience in two separate instances from scanning point. Absolutely, yeah. That's correct. That's not the question. But this Robin right here, in this very robot, is merely existing here, being confused the entire time, can't understand what she's even doing, or why she's here, and might die at any point. So I'm kind of thinking of making it easier for her. Yeah, I am.
Let me go!
Yeah, I mean, we had to talk earlier, right? Life forces cruel choices, but I think this is still better. I truly believe there's no point in, if this is your existence, to unnecessarily extend it, because it's not worth living, is it? You'd rather die and then try again in the next life. Or in this case, if you are being copied into the Ark, then your other self can proceed from there, and this one has to let go. Also, I think, anyway. Maybe someone will hate me for that, but that's how I see it. Ah! Oh, I have to... Okay, I see. Oh, that's how this works, okay. Big door is big. What the hell, man? Okay. Better try next life if we assume there is next life to begin with. Yeah, that's what I believe. But also, in this case, from the game's perspective, either she has a next life, or she was already copied into the Ark, or there isn't a next life. Even if there is no next life, I would still think this is a better choice to die than to just merely exist here. Because I always said it, death is what gives life meaning, right? If you could live forever, what do you live for? To know that your days are numbered is what gives it meaning. You know?
Hello? Anyone there?
Amazing that this also works, though.
Well, Catherine, we found Theta.
Alright, we have Theta. I kinda completely missed that, but yes, we are. Theta Lab. True, I share the same feeling. Better limited quality life than eternal existence of nothingness. Exactly. That is the point. Oh, we can destroy this again, huh? Alright, what we have here? Hello. Catherine!
We're here? We're here! Okay, great. Time to hijack ourselves a submarine. There will be nothing stopping us when we have the DUNBAT.
Oh, that's
You
the
guys
DUNBAT.
sure have a lot of machines and vehicles down here.
True.
What makes this one so special?
It's the only transport that can go into the abyss without cracking like a can of soup.
If this is one of a kind, then how did they get the Ark down the abyss in the first place?
Good point.
That's a good question. I suppose they did it the hard way and just walked.
Didn't realize that was an option.
What is the abyss anyway?
Kath, what's it like inside the Ark? Is it like a movie or virtual reality?
No, of course not. It's, like real life, but slightly better. Pleasant temperature, clean air, good weather.
So people in the Ark just walk around pretending it's the real world?
You don't have to pretend, it's perfectly
Yeah, they
immersive.
don't know.
And it can just sustain itself?
Yes. Attached to a probe fueled by solar panels, it could survive for thousands of years.
That's amazing. Just thinking about the Earth being what it is and us setting out to save the final remains of humanity, it's
Heroic.
at least it feels worth doing.
Here we go. The DUNBAT.
I still think that's a weird decision.
Damn it.
But
I knew it was too good to be true.
What's wrong?
It's... it's quarantined. Hold on. We need a security cipher.
How bad is it?
It's we don't write these things down type of bad.
Maybe someone's still around who can tell us what it is.
Sure, let's go with that. I'll just unlock the other doors for you so you can explore the station.
because, like, I said it earlier, right? Basically, what they're doing is they send or want to send the consciousnesses they scanned into space, so they can then live on there forever. But wouldn't it make more sense to try to terraform the Earth? Or wait it out down here and build an underground world until you can get back up on the thingy again? At least the last... oh, wait, no, never mind. There's no existing humans left, right? It's all just robots with consciousness. Well, but even then, I guess all humans are dead. It's just the consciousness that exists. But what are they gonna do in space? Back now, my bad if I missed anything. We just debated if it was correct to kill that robot which had a miserable existence or keep him alive. And we decided to kill him. But many people actually take these topics the way you do. Even from small glimpse, I can see you take this game for what it's actually worth, not some horror pussy game. Exactly, for me this game is really about... exactly, a philosophical dilemma to solve, yeah. I mean, there isn't even much horror in there, is it? Which I like. I care about the story and the meaning of it. This is what I do on this channel always. I always play games which have deep meanings. I can't speak though. And storytelling. But it's actually consciousness or an algorithm that replicates one based on the original one. Exactly, that's the point. Because I said earlier, I don't actually think this is true consciousness. Because in my belief system, consciousness cannot be copied or replicated. Because consciousness is what drives this flesh vehicle on Earth remotely, I would say, because your soul is eternal. And it just chooses to incarnate into a body and brings consciousness with it. And even then, even if it were, let's just, for example, say that it's not the case and it's just actual consciousness as in our human body. Then, as you all correctly say, it's just the algorithm that works on predefined algorithms, methods, methodologies to basically recreate you based on what it thinks you are. I personally don't, I also don't believe that AI will ever gain self-consciousness. Personally. People say if it gets complex enough, then it will develop that. I don't think so. I truly don't believe that. First of all, we don't understand consciousness well enough, like scientists, to really like dissect it into what it is. We only know it from being in contact with the beings that send us here. That's what we know what it is. and it's part of the soul. It's a divine spark, if you want. And the soul or the consciousness chooses who it incarnates into. So it can, of course, in the future, for example, choose to do this in a robot. But it's not that the robot gains self-consciousness that way. I truly don't believe that will ever happen. We will probably have humans and robots living together, and these robots will have their consciousness, but it's because the consciousness chose to go into that robot and not because it gained that due to its programming. Because I don't believe that programming can ever achieve that. And I'm a programmer myself on my day job, right? I do write code. I make programs. And so AI we have these days, for example, is another example. It's just a very fast pattern recognizer. It doesn't have any sort of personality whatsoever, even though it's acting like it has. It's just very good at recognizing patterns because it calculates these things very fast. This is also why they need ungodly amounts of computing power for the AI to do this. Like ungodly amounts. But this is just because it does these pattern recognitions very fast. But it has no personality or any sort of consciousness, and it never will. Because it will always be code that was written by someone. So if anything, a program has the consciousness of the guy who wrote it, in the sense that it has his sort of ideas in it. But that's about it. But the same is true, you could say, like we learned in Expedition 33, right? That any painting or image that you make has a piece of your soul. You could say that same thing about the code you write, but that's about it. So basically what we're doing here is uploading a bunch of programs that believe that they are human due to their programming, but they're not. That's how I see it.
We need to find someone who knows the cipher. It's the only way to fire up the DUNBAT.
Alright, DUNBAT. What's this? Site status. Operational. Alright. Black box beacon. Well, that's a lot. What the hell is this?
All your friends moved downstairs.
Why abandon the gate? And the habitat? That's so strange. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, me neither. Honestly. Alright. Have to go down then. That's what she's saying. Okay, why can't I jump over this? Come on. Thank you, Catherine. Oh, nothing here. I have a different idea of soul, consciousness, or the emergence of experience. Imo, it's a
Why would they all leave this floor?
I don't get it either. It's like they all just cleared out.
It's a byproduct of our biological need to navigate the system what we call universe. The matter of fact, consciousness exists, it must be a function of cosmos, which means it needs some criteria to meet. Possibly someday we will understand and be able to create it, but nowhere near nowadays. That's fine. I don't believe that, but as I always say, everyone... Oh damn, should make up their own minds.
Just labs and offices. Maybe the shuttle station.
Should we go check?
Rather not. Got a bad feeling about that.
What they believe in, because I've... I'm just gonna tell you my version, because I studied this for so long now with... Basically, there was a woman, she was a hypnotist, right? You might have heard of her. And she basically did this initially just to help people. And deal with their trauma and whatnot. But she actually figured out a method to get people in such a deep hypnosis state that she could go back into their past lives. Or even in higher contact with higher beings. And I could say, okay, it was just some dude, it was probably just
maybe they wanted to
dreaming.
Keep close to the shuttle station in case something went wrong.
You're really stuck on that one.
I'm just worried about my colleagues.
Was just dreaming or having just hallucinations or whatnot. But the key thing is she did this with thousands of people all around the world, and they all reported the same things of what happens after death. People that didn't know each other. They all said the same things. So at some point, a pattern becomes the truth, doesn't it? So it's not coincidence anymore. And so this is after I had my own out-of-body experience where I realized there is more than just the physical as we know it. And this then is when I went on a journey 10 years ago to figure this out, and have read all her books and researched many of these things. And, you know, also science keeps figuring out more and more things about the universe and time and all these things, and it all already has been printed in these books 30 years ago, and science is now catching up with it. It's kind of funny. And so this is all even more confirmation of that. And so what they basically said is that the soul, which carries the consciousness within it, is basically diverged from God as this spark, as this divine spark, and then chose to incarnate in a human body. And we already figured out just very recently, I saw it on X, some scientists figured out that our brain doesn't actually think the thoughts itself, it receives them from outside. That was very interesting, because that absolutely aligns with what they were saying in the books, that our brains are just signal receivers and we are just being remote controlled from our soul. You are not your body. Your body is just a physical flesh vehicle, if you want, that is being controlled by your soul. You think you are your body because it's very immersive and you forget about all these things, which is intentional, by the way, but you're not. So that was very interesting. I can only make decisions based on code inputted into it, not moral or conscious thoughts. Yeah, exactly. And it's also the same thing when people say it, like when Elon Musk, for example, says Grok is the most truthful seeking AI. And I'm like, you do know that this AI is trained on human thought. You fed it from the last 20 years or whatnot. So whatever humans believe mostly over the last 20, 30 years is also what the AI believes. Because how could it do anything else? This is what it's been trained on. So I'm not saying that AI is bad. It has actually very good applications. For example, DLSS I think is a very good technology to upscale images. They do look better than TAA, for example, like a lot. But asking the AI about the purpose of the universe and whatnot, I don't know. I'm not denying of soul consciousness itself. I think it's one thing that manifests through human body. But it's only one thing. Cosmos observing itself sort of thing. Well, that is true. You are everything. And everything is you at the same time. That is very true. It does observe, but it also is everything at the same time. It's a weird concept to get wrap your head around. Although the concept I struggled the most with so far is when they said that time doesn't exist. Which science also is figuring out. I just saw this recently. They do believe that time is a spiral, right? And they said time is a spiral, I think. But it's more like that the past, the future, and the present exist at the same time. There is no such thing as time, actually. Now, there is some sort of linear time on Earth because things do need a little bit to unfold. But it's a difficult concept. I struggle to explain this properly because I'm just not smart enough. But I liked reading about it. But the base idea is that everything happens at the same time in the universe. I found this to be very interesting. Time is relative, already proven by theory of relativity. Yeah, absolutely. I think this was sort of the base idea, and then it goes further than that when they say that everything happens at the same time, just in different dimensions. It's not constant or definite. Absolutely, yeah. Maya forgot who she was when she was inserted into the painting, so that tracks with the next body not knowing who it was before. Yeah, exactly. And this is also something, I think actually that the world in the canvas is sort of like who we are in this world, right? To an extent at least. Because everyone in the canvas completely forgot who they are. It's exactly the same thing that happens to us when we are incarnated on Earth. And obviously we fight for our survival. But if, for example, now some higher figure, higher being, which, for example, Renoir out of the real world, outside of Earth, would come and say, yeah, we actually gotta stop all this because it's hurting the real world, I'd be like, fine, man. Go ahead. Because why would I care about this existence if I actually have an existence outside of it that is more important? And if God judges it that way, just go ahead. Fine. So, to me, this was pretty obvious. But yeah. Maybe, was it the, what's this experiment called where they, was it the something split experiment? Forgot the name of it. Where they noticed that the observer changes reality. Right? When someone was looking at something, at particles, they just changed how they behaved as if someone was not looking at it. And so this is another confirmation that just you by existing and observing the world as it is, you do change it. So you are everything at the same time as you are not. I know it's weird. One sec. I think it was called a double slit experiment or something. I think it helps explaining it to people in simple terms. Absolutely. The problem just is, I think it was Einstein who said this, right? If you can't explain it simply, you haven't understood it well enough. And I haven't understood it well enough to explain it simply. So I can't.